Once upon a quiet life, a young lady dreamed of elsewhere and filled her journal with the pieces of places she'd never seen yet. Welcome to Clara's journal. This is a pretty big journal. It's about 3 inches wide at the spine. We've got a super cute jingly dangle that we've got off the side with these 2 eyelets. And here's our cover. I've got ribbons. I've got this beautiful applique. This is a hidden paper clip that I made for the book that I didn't end up using inside. So I used my leftover boho beads on that. And on the back, we've got this lovely boho fabric and some gold mesh lace. And my tie is made of 2 thicknesses of the boho fabric. I've got this, and then I glued another one on this side, and I made sure that the edges were nice and frayed. And this book is a work of pure fiction. Clara is not a real person that I know of, and the people and the journal entries and the letters in here are all just fantasy from my imagination. So I've got a whole playlist of this if you want to look through and see a lot of these pages I did on the playlist, and I'll link that below, tutorials about how I put this together. So my inner page is just a nice piece of that fabric, and I've got a liner here. I did a really fun little paper fabric cluster at the edge here. And here we go. This book belongs to Clara and Sinclair of Victoria, BC in 1905. This is some beautiful gift bag that I had, and then I sewed a lot of ruffles separately and incorporated them into this book. On our first page, we have this lovely fabric pocket. Let's see what's in here. We've got a journal entry that Clara has written on March 3rd, 1905. And this is my writing, and this is on tea-stained paper that I roughed up and inked. And in here we have a little gift bag, and we've got some fabric scraps, and they smell wonderful. They have essential oils on them, cinnamon and orange and frankincense. So the book smells lovely. And now we have a journal entry here. This is a ruffle pocket that I've attached. We have another, this is kind of a heavy cardstock pre-printed thing I had. So I put the flowers on top of that. And then I've got a journal. She's got a journal entry on here, and she finished up on here because she ran out of room. And this spread is in one of the tutorial videos. And we've got a reused junk mail envelope, a big window envelope. And inside we've got some printouts of receipts. We've got a few little lace and fabric scraps, some things that maybe she would have bought in Victoria, some soap and lace and gloves. And really cute. And I've got another dried flower sticker here and this lovely embellishment. And we turn over, and this is some just metallic kind of washi tape, these different colors. And on this side, we have something under this little bulldog clip. Here's a nice little paper collage. And inside here, we've got a letter from her cousin George, and he found something in his travels that he thought that she might like. Is this beautiful? So she's used some of it and kept some of it. And Clara's cousin George travels around the world and sends her things that she loves. So more pressed flower stickers, a pocket here. This is that jute kind of lace. We've got some cute little Mr. Frog printables, And Clara's written a few things on the back. She thinks that this one looks like her father when he's preparing to lecture her about propriety. So those are some adorable little images. And this is, I made this book in the no-sew binding method. So some of my paper hinges are decorative and some of I've just completely done over top. Here's a fabric bead that I've attached onto the bottom of this, and I have a tutorial about those too. Some really sweet little printables. I think these are maybe from the Art Scavenger and like old advertisements, and she's written something on that. This is all glued on. These laces that turn, or the ribbon that turns into little pockets. She's got some things from Keats and talks about the Lady of Shalott. Here's a nice journal entry from March 16th. And just a little ribbon and button. Next page is a bit of a sampling of some fabrics. And this ruffle is made with recycled shopping bags, which I've used throughout this book. So I've got some gold duct tape attaching these and some nice scrapbooking paper at the back. Here's another part of that shopping bag or gift bag that I use for the front page. And we've got a couple little things, a collage, fabric and paper. We've got a few things that we've written on here. And another little entry on the back of this one. And on this side, this is another recycled shopping bag pocket that I've made. And then I've done some little bead clusters with some jingle bells on them. Sewed some lace on there. Sewed this all onto a base pocket page and then glued it all. And I've got some lovely batik fabric here and a little ruffle that I've made. And in here she's got a letter from her cousin George, and he's in Bombay. And I've got this journal card that I've collaged with different fabrics with my sewing machine and then glued some ledger onto the side of this side. And so she's talked about the Empress Hotel. It's rising like a palace behind the masts. And so she wanted to try her hand at sketching the Empress Hotel in Victoria. So we've got this that's attached in here, and that is the Empress Hotel. And then I really aged up the back of that. And I've got a little bit of boho fabric just being glued onto the side here, because when we turn this page, this is another one of the spreads that I did in a tutorial. We've got some beautiful fabric here, another ruffle, a fabric ruffle here, and a pocket that's the base is paper with fabric on top. And this is also a recycled shopping bag. We've got a nice journal entry here. Oh yes, her friend Hannah allowed herself to be persuaded to try cross-stitching, and Hannah didn't enjoy it at all, so Clara asked if she could have it. This is actually a cross stitch that my daughter has done, and she didn't really want it, so I asked her if I could have it in. So here it is. And just a ruffle, another one of my pre-made ruffles put on, a bit of lace. And this was some paper that tea-stained artist paper, and I had cut a little bit off of it for some reason. So I just sewed a couple little pieces of fabric onto it, and you'd never know that I didn't mean to do that in the first place. Okay, so we have another recycled shopping bag ruffle with some beautiful trim sewn on top. This is from a paper pad from Michael's. I thought it looked pretty beautiful. It's nice and gold. This is some Japanese style like rice paper, and it's just so beautiful. I left it as a hinge and the standalone page. And on the other side of it, I just did a belly band, and these are some little rhinestone stickers from the dollar store. And I thought that looked really beautiful, and I carried it with this journal tag. There's a journal entry on here and some fabric, 4 different little strands of fabric coming out the top. And then in here is also some fabric scraps that I imagine that Clara got from her cousin, and these ones smell like cloves. Lovely. And this is just a little vellum envelope that I sewed with my sewing machine, and then I sewed the trims on the top to match this, so it all ties together. And then I made one of my fabric boho beads. I just added a bunch of baker's twine to the top, added some gold into it, put some beads on, and then this is just attached to this page by a paper clip, so it could be a dangle or a bookmark, whatever. And this page, this is a really nice Father's Day card that I had that had been used, and it has this beautiful scallop, so I just put a fabric ruffle on the top, made a little pocket out of this foil paper, another rhinestone stickers from the dollar store, and there's some cute little things in here. This is from these little puzzle cards, Victorian type puzzle cards. So Clara thought that she was captivated by these. Someone sent these to her and she just thought that they were so neat. So she's put them in, she's clipped them into here. And then we have another letter from Cousin George, and not sure where he is right now, but he's somewhere far away. Okay, and on this page we have a recycled shopping bag fabric ruffle pocket that I did a tutorial on. And on the back of this is just some of that receipt that I generated up, and we've got a couple little things in here, and this is a little tri-fold journal card just with a paper clip with a little piece of fabric, and we've got a journal entry in that, and she talks about reading Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. So I have this in a tutorial as well, all the layers that go together to make this pocket. And then she's got a very rough map of Vancouver Island. It's not to scale or anything, but since she lives on Vancouver Island, I thought that that was good. And then we have a bit of fabric just to put at the top here to fill in a bit of a space that was there. This base page, I think, was just a piece of junk mail. And now we have my magical little bead curtain page at the bottom. And I had this in a tutorial as well. This was really fun to make with all kinds of different things going on, and a ruffle and the fabric and then the sequins on top. And then this is some handmade embossed paper that I put a gold fabric belly band on, and some little fabric bobbin swatches and some more of those puzzle cards. And you see there's my fabric hinge that I just kept in there to join those pages together because they were so nice. Next we have some kind of old looking drawings, illustrations, advertisements, and she's just made some little notes on these. I've just ripped these with my little jagged edge ruler, and there's a couple more up in here. And on this side we have the gold belly band again with that fabric, another puzzle piece. This is just some dead space that was there, so I put some stenciling in there, and this is just like wrapping plastic ribbon. And we've got I just love these, a beautiful fabric collage journal card with an entry on it. And then we have another letter from Cousin George from Bucharest, and we've got 2 pages on this one. And now we have a nice little pocket with a gusset to fit, you know, a few different things in. I've just got a few receipts or ticket things that we've done up, and this is a letter that we made together that looks like it's real, looks like the stamp is canceled, and on my tea stained envelope. And in here we've got some more cute little images, and Clara loves the anthropomorphized animals. So here's some little things of the frogs in tuxedos, and she's written something on them. She's bought this, and she thinks that these are so grand. Because I have a little gusset on this pocket, this letter goes in nice and easily. And this is her Mr. Frog in his finest, and we just have a bead paper clip on that. Nice and simple page. And on this side we've got some paper that I included this in a freebie if you want to get these papers, just the base paper for this page, just showing that you can have a page that's beautiful that doesn't have to have a whole bunch of stuff on it. A hidden paper clip with another boho bead, and then we have some free printables that I got that I linked in this video, and she's got on them her list of books that she's read and books that she wants to read. And then she's got another journal entry on this one. And then these just, we've got a couple of pieces of fabric showing from the top and the bottom. And, on this page, so we've got some beautiful Japanese inspired fabric and this beautiful trim, very golden. And this base page was just a piece of Amazon paper packaging, and so I glued it onto here, and I thought it looked so beautiful I just wanted it to stay there. And on this side we've got a nice big pocket to fit more goodies. We've got more trim. We have some of I was getting to the end of the journal, so I was using some of these pre-made ruffles up that I did, and you can see there's a good amount of space in this pocket. And in here we've got the other half of our recycled junk mail window envelope that I've just sewn around and collaged a bit of things on it to look pretty. And I've got another fabric bobbin and a couple little cute little pages that Clara likes with cute things on them that she's written on. And then we have another collage paper and fabric journal tag with another journal entry on it. And you can see another recycled shopping bag pocket again, and another letter. And this is looking very rough and weathered with our imaginary canceled stamp and a letter inside, and then a journal entry done by Clara, and then a couple of boho postcards that we made up. And this is fabric, all fabric collaged on there, and these are done with just silicone stamps and regular black office ink. And then I've of course written these postcards like they're sent to someone real. And another piece of our gift bag that we had at the front of the book. And this book is so big. Now we're getting down to the last few treasures here. So I've got another letter. This is just a simple base here with a fabric pocket with a couple of little things to make it look pretty. We've got another letter. We've got some more cute little animals, and we've got in this little organza bag some stamps that we did up to make them look like they'd been ripped off of envelopes and been canceled in the mail. On this page, we just have a nice fabric collage, and then we have another one of those Victorian kind of printable pages with a little bit of fabric showing at the sides and the top. And then here's our inside of our back cover, and more gift bag and another cute little fabric and little bits and pieces collage that I've attached onto the side of it. And our inner liner for our back cover is the same. It's a bit padded and it's got the fabric on it as well. And there is Clara's boho journal. in all her splendor. It was so much fun making this journal, and I hope that this gives you some inspiration. Bye for now.